glancing outside. "No," she said brightly. "It's sunny now." She kissed him on the cheek, skipped out into the street, and readied herself for the faux show of civility she had become used to. The officer was bent over, seemingly having trouble with his left boot. "Bonjour, monsieur," she said, with an appropriate but not offensive hint of gruffness. "Pardon, bonjour." He began to straighten. "Some coffee and a pastry, perhaps?" Juliet spoke in French, taking the pencil from behind her ear. "I should tell you that we have no cream today." "No cream?" he repeated, sitting upright. The answer was out before she could button it in. "There is a war on, monsieur." Regretting her foolish response, Juliet focused on the notebook rather than his face, a habit she had developed when serving the Nazis. But eventually, she had to look at the man, because he was staring straight at her. And when she finally saw his face, the light fell out of the day, and the whole of Paris went black. And as she fell to the pavement, she heard a name called out that she hadn't heard for quite some time. "Sophie!" Chapter 1. La Santé Prison, August 1944. I always knew I would find myself here. I told Sophie as much. For some years, I have had a healthy respect for the principle of karma. It is as if somehow, stored in that place of unconscious thought, that untapped place behind the mind where our ancestors left a wealth of information, lies the knowledge that, just as good deeds must be paid forward, so must bad ones be. Finding myself here in this place of dark depravity has, therefore, been of no surprise, because it was, ultimately, inevitable. As I have been running from karma for years, it is a relief to have been finally caught up with, because running is exhausting, and I wonder, when the guard's keys rattle in the lock for the final time, is that all that I will feel in the end? Relief. The key rattles now. I feel no relief. Nor am I frightened. But that is only because I have heard no hammering of boots indicating the gathering of a squad in the courtyard above my cell, nor have I heard the dragging of wood on the dirt. My cell is a squalid place of green-brown dripping walls and a bucket of unemptied excrement. I do have a wooden bunk, collapsed at one end, but my main complaint is that it is far too big for one man and his thoughts to inhabit alone. I would have preferred a smaller cell. I could have gathered my thoughts easier there, kept them penned in, controlled. But at least I am not tethered in chains, and I have a little light. The light filters through a barred grate that sits too high in the wall for me to look through, and yet awards a little air and an insight into the goings-on up there from day to day. Behind the grate is the prison's central courtyard, dusty at this time of year, and almost certainly as hot as hell. I am happiest when it is empty of marching boots, because marching boots are often followed by pleading. There is always pleading, followed by a round of gunshots, or the sharp slicing of a heavy sharpened blade cutting through bone and flesh. The guillotine has returned to Paris. I fear it never left. The key ends its rattling, and the heavy door begins to open. I stand, although the beatings and insufficient rations render it a little painful. My jailer gave me water this morning, so I am at least lucid for my visitor. The gas lantern enters the room first, followed by a cross, a Christian cross. It rests awkwardly at the end of a chain on the chest of a German army uniform, which in turn sits awkwardly on the body of the man wearing it, a Nazi chaplain, around my age, early 40s, perhaps a little older. Like unicorns and mermaids, I doubted the existence of German chaplains, as I have seen none since my arrival in Paris. In the last war there were many, but now hardly any at all. The SS don't have them, nor do the Luftwaffe. Goering forbade it. And yet one stands before me. Hitler must have kept a few for the army, perhaps to add legitimacy to his reign of terror. The swastika armband is loose around the man's arm. He is too thin. My father used to say, "No man fills a uniform properly until he..."